Okay, let's start. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to talk about how to manage 70 or more websites. So this is doing support at scale and not lose your sanity at the same time. My name is Anthony Lindsay. I lead the support and maintenance crew at ANNERTECH. And yeah, we've been putting support at the forefront of our agency for a long time now. So yeah, let's dive straight in. So actually, before that, let's just talk briefly about, first of all, if there's questions, we don't really have time for questions now, but if anybody has questions, come see me at the ANNERTECH booth afterwards, and I'll hang around there for a while and we'll be happy to answer questions. So, what do I mean by managing websites? I mean security updates, module updates, feature requests, change requests, security, basically maintenance, keeping the thing alive online and the customers happy. So, step one, automation. So, automation is immensely useful because it takes out a lot of the differences and problems that can occur between different websites. Take, for example, deployments. How do you remember all of the steps involved in a deployment? You could easily automate database updates, config management import, cache clear. I haven't had to type those commands in years for a normal deployment. Whereas it used to make me feel like a proper hacker, SSHing into a server and typing those commands, but it saves hours if it's all automated on a Git push. Updates should all be reliably repeatable so that you know what's been deployed to dev is deployed to live. You should hide the differences between your different sites through automation. For example, if you have two sites, one of which is hosted on an obscure self-hosted server, automate the steps to get to that server through GitLab pipelines, Docker instances, so that you don't need specialist knowledge to do a deployment. Another useful tool in your arsenal for managing lots of sites is monitoring. So the questions are, what are you monitoring and how are you monitoring it? Are you worried about Apache being up? Are you worrying about, is the database up? I like to keep it simple and ask, does it serve a web page? So I'll send a HTTP request. If I get back a 200 OK, then the site's up. That will cover 95, that's a figure plucked out of my head, 95% of use cases. But you can also check things like, is it returning expected content? Is it return, or is the SSL cert okay? Is the SSL cert going to expire? Are we serving from cache or are we serving from Drupal? Do we have enough disk space? Do we have enough database space? These are all the sorts of things that we monitor because it's gold dust to be able to say to a client, your website broke, we saw it, we fixed it, now it's better, so you don't need to worry about it. It's so much better than having your clients ring you up going, my website's broken, fix it. I always get heartfelt thanks from clients when I tell them it's all dealt with, all gone. We don't need to worry. So now let's talk about standardization. This is about trying to make your websites more or less the same under the hood. They can all look different, they can all do different things, but Drupal as a framework has Drupalisms we all know and love. It allows us to use like reusable components, reusable modules. We should standardize your module set, try and avoid alpha modules, standardize your feature set so you can reuse code, standardize the hosting you use so that people don't have to become familiar with many different servers. Things like Docker and Doxal and DDEV will allow you standardize development tools, or even custom commands that become standard for your team. Standard hosting is incredibly important. We use Platform SH for about 2/3 of our sites, Acquia for a few, and have to deal with self-hosted sites for another few. But what you want is something that's managed, so you don't have the headache of security updates for a server, something that is secure, say with a read-only file system and with limited permissions, only enough to let you do what you need to do, and is API friendly, so it can talk to GitHub, talk to GitLab, let you script ways to interrogate your sites and go, what sites use the book module, or what sites need security updates. Then we've got backups. Backups and my other favorite, version control, they're like voting. Do them early and do them often. Backups should be easy, quick. It should not be a blocker to a deployment to have to run a backup, because then it won't get done the one time you really need it to be done. Yes, using Git always goes without saying. Now, doing updates. Obviously, through the use of Git, config management, and update hooks, you can make your updates repeatable, reliably repeatable. They should be testable, because even if you don't go down the road of automated testing, you should have QA built into your human processes. And the developer should write testing notes so that somebody else can verify the thing works, because you don't want to do work that creates problems for yourself. Then finally, keeping things up to date. In a Drupal 6 and Drupal 7 world, you used to get away without updating modules except for security. That's not the case anymore, because not only has Drupal 8 got so many dependencies that you have to keep up to date all the time, but in addition, Drupal 7, the project has gone on so long that now you can't afford to let modules slide, because third-party services are having radical changes. So if you also have to update modules, you're just leaving yourself open to headaches. Now, standardizing your human processes is also obviously important, because the machines do the heavy lifting, but the people tell them what to do. You should standardize your process for getting work done. So you can create yourself a process that involves QA and testing steps, that involves handling planned work. Say, oh, we know that there's a PHP upgrade needed, or unplanned work, where the client requests a new feature or something breaks. You should relate tickets to changes. Say, for example, with a URL for a ticket or the like, so that you can, in a year's time, when a client asks, why did we turn off that module? You can find where the change was, relate it to the ticket, and see the commentary from a year ago. That stops fights before they even begin. But yeah, create your process, review your process, refine your process. We have a meeting every week, me and my team, to see what good things happened, what bad things happened, and what do we need to change in our processes to make things better. Now, testing. So I mentioned automated and manual testing. Automated testing is obviously the holy grail, but it's probably impractical to try and achieve full automated testing coverage for all of your disparate sites. So I would recommend using the likes of Backstop and Nightwatch for deliberate, focused testing. For example, if you are making changes to all of your content types, a Backstop test will tell you whether the form has changed, whether there's something unexpected appeared, or if you are changing font sizes or font colors in one part of the site. Again, you can find out pretty quickly if you've had unexpected consequences. Now, communication. Obviously, communication is everything. Communicate where you are, communicate where you live. We live on Rocket Chat. So all of the alerts from all of the Trello boards of all of our projects come to Rocket. So do any alerts from site monitoring. So do alerts from any of the checks we do to make sure people are pushing to the right repositories and not doing anything silly. That's also where the team communicates. We talk to clients through Trello because it's nice and easy for clients. But having that single backbone of communication through Rocket is incredibly, incredibly useful. Now, last one is documentation. So document everything as much as possible. Put documentation in code through comments. Put a README in your theme to say how to compile it. Put a README in the project. And for all the processes, write a knowledge base so that everybody doesn't have to work it out from scratch. And I'm just about out of time, so I'll leave you with this. It's like being on call. First, fix the problem and then engineer it out so the problem cannot reoccur. Thank you very much. Contrib Day tomorrow. And tell us what you think. I hope that was all useful. I'll be around at the ANNERTECH booth in a couple of moments if anybody wants to chat or ask questions. Thanks for listening.
Bye, Antonia. We'll close the Zoom now.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.